Well, he wasn't wrong, was he? Yes, well, absolutely. We're talking, of course, about the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, who cited this as, well, very good television. This was the moment when the President of Ukraine literally had something of a meltdown. Now, you would have thought that even though he was, some people suggest, goaded into this, he would have kept his counsel. But it all started right from the beginning. The moment he arrived, you see, President Trump said, "Oh, I see you've come dressed up." This was, of course, a bit of a sight as to the fact that normally he comes dressed as an action man, people suggest. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because behind the scenes, whatever your thoughts about what went on in the Oval Room at the White House, well, seemingly things took a darker turn from an excellent source who tells me exactly how Mr. Zelensky, well, kind of operates. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll have a lovely wave. Wasn't it good TV though, eh, chums? I mean, goodness, we've never seen sort of political debate like that, have we? And as I said, whether you agree with it or not, I think it's kind of refreshing to be able to see those sort of debates literally in front of us. You know, as Mr. Trump has pointed out, you elected us to be there. We are defending for you, so you should see exactly what goes on. And if we saw a little bit more of that, I think people might understand exactly as to why things either go right or badly wrong. You see, over here, for instance, the, I think, climate minister, I'm not quite sure, Annalise Dodds resigned. Nobody noticed, of course, but this is Annalise who wanted to protect many other countries with all of the aid from Great Britain, but couldn't be bothered to vote to save the elderly over here for the winter fuel allowance. So you understand, transparency, some might suggest, is very good indeed. But what about this man? Well, as we now know, he's back over here in the United Kingdom. That's right, President Zelensky. Some people might suggest, of course, looking once again at the UK's ATM machine at Downing Street. You see, what was fascinating, but a lot of people found out, was the fact that there were no sort of sanctions attached or indeed repayments back to the United Kingdom. Apparently we gifted this money. That wasn't the case for the United States of America. Some people might say very cleverly again, of course, because this is the reason why certain people are now fed up with all the money disappearing. But what I found fascinating behind the scenes from someone who is literally next to him right now over here on this trip, and I can't give too much away about who that is, but it was fascinating nonetheless, is apparently Mr. Zelensky has a bit of an obsession with this man, the Hollywood star Tom Cruise. And let's not forget, you know, he started out as an actor, Mr. Zelensky, and of course then became a reality TV star and did all sorts of things to become famous. Now, when he needs to get pumped up, he watches things like Top Gun and Mission Impossible and all those action movies and decides to get into that type of character, which makes perfect sense when you think about it. However, it goes a stage further. According to that source, and people might say, hang on a minute, but let's not forget, President Zelensky and his wife took time out to pose for Vogue magazine at the very height, if you like, of the Ukraine war. So priorities, all that sort of stuff. Plus the fact the rumours are abound that he and his wife are incredibly wealthy with numerous homes and a lot of money. So far, he's relinquished the idea not to expose, shall we say, his exact bank accounts, but it would be fascinating. But according to a well-placed source at Pinewood, it came through that actually if he was required for a cameo in any of the Tom Cruise movies, Mission Impossible or any, then he would be considering it. Right, 100%. And as ever, you have to sort of say allegedly. But the bottom line is, when you think about it, you know, whatever you think about this debacle that went on literally over in America, perhaps other people should delve a little bit more, including our own British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, who clearly, you know, as I said, is either a fanboy or whatever they want to call him, but never asks any questions about where our money is truly going. On the other side of the pond, well, the President of the United States and the Vice President at least want to know where the American money is. Now, whose side do you take on that? Do you actually see President Zelensky alongside Tom Cruise? The only thing they may have in common, of course, is the right height. Am I right? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.